Well, we talked about the fact that I could write lyrics, and she and I, we agreed that she would write some music and I would put lyrics to it, okay? Then she went back to Bulgaria, because we met in Holland. She went back to Bulgaria, and then every few weeks she would send a cassette which had her music, a backing music, okay? And then you know how it goes, she would sort of hum or sing a melody.
Where in the world do we all hide? This is no place to be alone.
Where in the world do we all hide? There's no place to be alone.
So close, so close.
So this went on, and then eventually we got through about 6 songs in that way, okay? And so I looked up and studied some Sanskrit. And I coordinated the Sanskrit words to go into the chorus, and then I would send her a copy of that with me singing in harmony. So I'd actually sing the whole choruses as well to her.
My soul.
While I did all these words, I was working in a bakery on night shift, okay? So you might, all of this was done, I was doing the night shifts, coming home, having a cup of coffee, going to the studio, talking with her, writing words, going back to the bakery. I had a busy life, right? And then another song I did, which I actually used North American Indian language, right? So I went off and studied in the library, and I got all these Indian, I think it was the Sioux Indians in America. And that's because the religions of the North American Indians would tie in very well with New Age, because it was the Great White Spirit. Now, anyway, I did all that, and then she came back to Holland and she recorded all these songs in Holland. So I went over and gave her a bunch of flowers and a bottle of wine, just as a thank you for singing my words, right? And this was going very fine. And then Michael Butterfield turns up, right? Now Michael Butterfield is an unusual character. Now, it's a weird thing because we're all people. I thought that he was the one who was a bit strange in the music business, and that Diana Defova was just a singer who wanted to get on with it, right? And it was only after a few years that it clicked that they must both know what they're doing, because they're together, aren't they? They're married. Because they're Christians, right? They're Christians, okay? Because, no, we were in a church and they were raising their arms to the Lord by the window while we were waiting at the back, right? And I thought, well, if they're Christians, how on earth can they not be fair with the people who were working with them to help them? You see, and so the question is, do they know what they're doing, or does it happen by accident? What he does, he stands her. If you see a famous people coming towards you, he will purposely stand her with them, right? And then he'll take a photograph, right? All right. And I've seen several photographs that were taken with her with famous people, right? And I thought, oh, maybe she knows these people. Oh, here, have you seen the photograph of me with Cliff? Yes, it was on a summer holiday, yes. Here's a photograph of me with Keith. Yes, Keith, here's a photograph. But when we were in Bulgaria, right, the prince is like the Prince Charles of Bulgaria, right? Not the king, the prince. He would be the prince if they were there. Yeah, and he was walking down a field, right, about 50 yards from where we were standing, and he came down with his people towards us, and Michael Butterfield said to Deanna, go on, stand there quickly, we'll walk with him, we'll get the photograph, right? And she said, oh, not this time, Michael, she said. And that happened literally 10 metres in front of me. Yes, the thing is, the royalties, you have to contribute for the artist's costumes, you know. Yes, very, there's a lot of dresses to buy. Yes. No, Dior, you know, yes, just simple little number. Yes. Good, wonderful. Okay, yes. As I was saying, yes, have you seen the photographs? Have you? Yeah, here's a photograph of me, yes, with family Fritz Simona. Well, why don't we go to Bulgaria, right? So we paid our own holiday that year to go to Bulgaria. So we were in Sofia, and then Diana and Michael said, well, you're coming over, and they arranged us a hotel or a bed and breakfast. But we paid for it, right? We paid 100% for that. It was no freebie. We paid for that because it was our ordinary holiday, right? Our yearly holiday. Then inside our holiday, they said, why don't we go around now in their Land Rover or whatever vehicle they had, and they wanted to show us around. We went up into the Rhodope Mountains. So anyway, they said they'll take us around, and we went round with them, and we stopped in bed and breakfast all the way round, which of course we paid for, right? We paid for our own bed and breakfast all the way round. And every meal and every breakfast and every restaurant, we paid our way, okay? We paid half of everything, and we also paid them for half the petrol for the whole journey, okay? There's a reason I say this, because the funny thing is, when you write songs, obviously the lyrics and the music is usually 50-50, isn't it, right? Does that make sense to you? Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, they didn't give us a holiday, we paid for our holiday. They didn't pay us for anything, right? We went down there, right? We went down there ourselves to the record shop, and we went in, and lo and behold, there they were selling cassettes of the very songs that I'd written with her. My name is on the cassette in Bulgarian, okay? My name's on there, but the interesting point is they never at any moment mentioned to us that they were out in the shop selling. I've been making this documentary in August 2015, although my lyrical writing events happened between 1998 and the year 2000, at least 15 years ago. And strangely enough, about a week ago on YouTube, I got this message in the YouTube messages from someone I don't know at all in the UK. And I'll read it out to you. Hi there. I've just read your inquiry on YouTube concerning Diana Defova. I too, along with 2 other friends, composed a song for her. This all happened in the late 80s. This song apparently went to number 1 in Bulgaria and number 8 in Moscow. We were in business at the time with her husband, Michael Butterfield, and the song was for a project we were pursuing. The project sadly fell through, and so did our business, and Michael Butterfield left the UK to be with Diana in Bulgaria, taking our song with him, although at the time he had no part in its creation, apart from jigging around during the video we had produced. A year or 2 later, on accidentally hearing of its success, we tracked down Michael Butterfield and made inquiries about royalties. Royalties? He laughed. There were no royalties. The Bulgarians have paid me in corn. For reasons too complicated to go into here, we didn't pursue the matter, but we knew we'd been roundly ripped off. I only bring this to your attention now because, having left a message on YouTube myself 2 years ago, and this was also concerning the song and Diana Defova, I had received an email from a Dutch guy who claimed he had also written songs for her Songs of the Earth album, which is another CD made before I started myself with my lyrical efforts. This song had been produced by his father, and it would seem they haven't been paid either. So it was while checking out that album that I saw your message, and I thought I'd give you a heads up. You're not alone, and I hope you get more satisfaction than we did. Regards. And then after that we came back to Holland, and there were a few leaflets and folders, that we brought back. And then we noticed in one of these leaflets there was an article that the song Talisin, right, which I mentioned just now, had been entered into an American Song Contest. So we said to each other, isn't that funny that they never mentioned that to us when we were sat with them in the restaurant 2 days ago, right? decided the one song would have a Celtic language. After I'd done that, I thought this song needs, because when you write lyrics you end up writing the title as well, of course, you see, and it was because of that I thought we need a good title for this song. It's got to be a short one-word title. Okay, now I thought, okay, Talisin.
It's Jim, yeah. Did I work on the song Talisin with you? Yeah? So we worked together with the song Talisin, wrote it together, I suppose, or we were partners in writing it. Yeah. Yeah, okay. No, but I'm just curious because, about this song contest thing that happened in America last year. Can you tell me a bit more about that? Because, I mean, I don't really quite know the full implication of what happened with that.
Anyway, the song was entered into the song contest in America, so I contacted the director of the contest in America, okay? Because the song won. It was first prize in the world category, okay? Yeah, it had won, and there was a $6,000 prize, right? And also other things like fridges and whatever. So anyway, I contacted this American guy and I said, hello, he had no idea who I was. I said, well, I'm the guy who wrote the words on that winning song in that category. And I had to prove it to him. I had to email him faxes and passports and Buma Stemra, God knows what, before he would. So what happened was I said, can you send me the entry form? So he sent me a blank entry form, okay? So now I'm in Holland with a blank entry form, and on the entry form it says there's a position where it says co-writers. Do you follow me? And they hadn't filled in that there was a co-writer. They'd entered it in the That's what she says. All I know, I've seen all this. I know she's a prodigy, and she writes everything herself in Sanskrit, in Red American Indian language, in Celtic, right? I'm the guy who did that, right? Yeah, I did a load of research. And it was my creativity. If I hadn't done that, she would never have had those songs, right? So I said to the contest people, I said, look, you can't have a winning song if I take away the lyrics. What you got left is an instrumental. And the director of the song contest said to me, if he said, this is very bad, he said, if you insist, I can throw her out of the contest. That's what he said to me. Anyway, I said no. I said leave him in the contest. They can't help it, right? And then I rang up Michael Butterfield, okay, and I said, now listen. I said, have you won this contest? And he said, it's not a song contest. It's a talent contest, right? So I said to him, well, no, it must be a song contest because it actually says song contest, right? And I said, have you mentioned me on the form? And he said, there was no place on the form where we could fill your name in. He's saying that to me on the phone, and I've actually got the form in front of my nose while he's saying this, right? So then I said to him, have you had any prize? And he said, no, we haven't had any prize yet anyway. But the American guy said they have had the prize. They've had the 6,000. Well, I should have had a right for half of that anyway, you know. So Anyway, then at some point, Michael said to me, "The thing is, Jim," he says to me, "you realise we have a lot of expenses, and somebody has to pay for the singers' costumes, right?" And I said, "Yeah, but listen, if a lyric writer writes lyrics for a song, surely he doesn't have to pay for the singer's costume when she's on the stage." Have you ever heard of that? Yes, the thing is, the royalties, you have to contribute for the artist's costumes, you know. Yes, there's a lot of dresses to buy. Yes. Yeah, so since then, what happened, you see, then, that was around 2001, and I was pretty well depressed because I didn't have any money to sue them. It was registered with Bumestemer, okay, and it still is, but I went to Bumestemer about it as well, and they said it's very difficult to get things from Bulgaria, and then, of course, what happened from then on was that she went into her career and she went to Mongolia to a song contest, and she had a record out in Italy with Riva Sound, and I contacted them about royalties and I didn't get an answer. And she had obviously a record out in Bulgaria with another company. And then, of course, through the years she's gone into India, right, with my songs. And there are other CDs. And then, of course, she went to America and she was doing concerts in Las Vegas. There are films on the internet of her singing the same songs in America. And at one point she got with a rather, not a big record company, but she got the records were being released by a record company in America as well. Okay. Now, for me to try... and another thing, one of the songs was used by the United Nations for one of their children's charities. But the other problem is that I've watched this through the years, and I honestly got to a point where this is the saddest thing, because one of the songs I wrote for her is called My Soul. Now, I was a lyric writer, and in a way, I suppose I'm expressing my soul, okay? And now she's singing it all over the world, right? But what happened to me was I got so depressed, I actually stopped writing songs. My creativity went down from 99 to about 1, okay? So what she's actually done is ripped off my soul. But I mean, I can watch the films and I hear her singing the song and I know that I wrote the words, and I can't even enjoy the enjoyment of watching my own material being sung. The other thing is not that they're making the money over our backs, but can you imagine how I feel? It says in these articles and magazines, doesn't it? Her songs, her words are so wonderful. Her lyrics are so wonderful. And she's doing Sanskrit and Italian and Zulu. She's into Zulu. In the hotel where we were staying, all the people there knew Diana Devova, right? And at the end of the session, my girlfriend said to one of the people who worked in the hotel, "Do you know why Jim is here?" And she said, "No, you're just friends." And she said, "No, he's the lyric writer." And even the people in the hotel had no idea. They just thought I was some guy who turned up.
Where in the world do we all hide? This is no place to be alone, for these are the days to reunite. All mankind is welcome home. have our own star, and we wish for love to shine our way. As we reach out to the stars, and we wish for love to shine our way. If we really believe love is true, we will change and we will see. It's a wonderful world we can share, if I am you and you are me. And we each have our own star, and we wish for love to shine our way.